Aw, animals.
That's nuts. A Michigan man got the shock of his life one morning when he discovered a secret stash in the hood of his car. While driving to his shift at a steakhouse on May 11th, Kellen Moore noticed strange noises coming from his car's AC. Imagine his surprise when he lifted the hood of his newly acquired vehicle and found pine cones. Not one, not two, but 50 pounds worth. A sneaky squirrel had apparently been using the engine as storage space, and Moore was none the wiser. It took two people 45 minutes to clear out all the pine cones, which at that point had already expanded from the engine heat. Moore even commented about wanting to suss out and strangle the furry culprit. He's not the only one who's had this problem, though. Squirrels and other critters have been known to do all sorts of stuff in people's cars. He's lucky the bugger didn't stuff acorns into his engine, too. That would have been really nuts. You're a furry fan, aren't you? Keep watching.
Teen shoots to internet fame for befriending family of raccoons. It's not easy being a raccoon. Food can be scarce, and when nature's cupboard is bare, what's a hungry bunch of raccoons to do? Luckily for a gaze of 5 raccoons in Seattle, they have a friend in 18-year-old Kayla Lynn, an aspiring singer and devoted feeder of raccoons. Lynn's bond with them began back in August of 2016, when a lone raccoon came by her home in search of food. The teen opened her fridge to the raccoon with offerings of bread and gave her the name Rosemary. Aww. After a while, Rosemary the raccoon started showing up with a few family members. Apparently, word of free food travels fast in the wild. And before long, Lynn found herself providing dinner for the hungry critters every night at 7:30 on the dot. The relationship was quick to catch fire on Twitter, garnering 22,000 retweets after Lynn's pics were posted on December 28th. While this friendly feeding may seem harmless, others looking to befriend raccoons and other wildlife would be wise to keep in mind if raccoons get used to showing up at your door for handouts, it may hamper their foraging skills in the wild. Anyone offering food should probably only do it once in a while. Otherwise, the raccoons may not be so friendly the day you forget to leave their meals out.
Squirrel goes nuts on home intruder. A thief who broke into an Idaho home had the bejesus scared out of him after discovering a guard squirrel on the premises. Homeowner Adam Pearl felt something was off when he came home, and marks on his gun safe confirmed that someone had been messing around in his house. An officer came to investigate after Adam reported some small items missing and was startled to find that Pearl had a pet squirrel. The cops later apprehended the thief. While questioning him, the officer spotted what looked to be scratches on his hands. Turns out Joey the squirrel had gone full attack mode on the robber and didn't stop scratching, nibbling, and clawing until the bad guy fled. In the end, Pearl got his stuff back, and Joey got treats for saving the day. Good squirrel. Squirrel goes nuts for Christmas lights. After a Seattle neighborhood's holiday decorations began to mysteriously go missing, residents thought they had a Grinch in their midst. The reality, as it turned out, was much more adorable. Margaret Raccoon had been stringing Christmas lights outside her home for more than a decade and was confused when she noticed bulbs were suddenly going missing. The culprit turned out to be a squirrel who had been chewing through the wires to get to the bulbs. Raccoon soon caught the bushy-tailed thief red-handed and filmed him on video as he made his escape. The bulb bandit managed to pilfer 150 bulbs in 24 hours. The hard-working critter probably thought it was food and stashed them in different yards to prep for winter. But you never know, it's possible the bandit is just really into the holidays. And with a thief this cute, we're sure the neighbors don't mind. Raccoon freed after getting head stuck in drain. A raccoon found itself in a bit of a tight spot after a too tiny sewer grate got in the way of freedom. Folks at the Veterans Affairs Medical Center in Northampton, Massachusetts, chanced upon the critter on Wednesday and figured he needed a hand. The little guy's head was poking out from a hole in a sewer grate, and he looked absolutely distraught. So an animal control officer was called in to help him get unstuck. She lifted the metal grate out first, and then with some elbow grease and actual grease, finally managed to free him. The furry fellow looked like he was still reeling from shock when the officer wrapped him in a towel, but he was uninjured, just probably a lot oily. But sweet freedom.
Squirrel gets in the holiday mood by feasting on pricey chocolates. An American squirrel was caught on camera nabbing expensive chocolates and some lip balm from a Jersey family's porch. Every year, the Boudreaux family leaves out a holiday basket for delivery people on their doorstep. They stuff it with candy, snacks, tissues, hand warmers, and other treats. Michelle Boudreaux said they never had any issues until this year when she noticed the basket was raided shortly after she placed it outside. She said the thief was only taking the expensive treats, including 25 Ghirardelli chocolate squares. The family put up a hidden camera to see if they could catch the perpetrator in action. They were more than a little surprised to see it was actually a super chunky squirrel. Michelle then later actually ran into Chunk mid-heist and watched him clear out their chocolate yet again. Oh yeah, he also took a Carmex lip balm. The chocolate has now been placed in a jar, but Michelle still leaves out squirrel treats for Chunk too.